Hi, Winry and Alphaeus. This is Nanny Suzanny, and it's bedtime reading. And tonight we're going to read about the fastest and the slowest animals. These are the animals that we're going to cover. So to start off, we have two birds that we're going to talk about. The peregrine falcon, which is this one, and the spin-tailed swift, which is this bird. So the peregrine falcon can fly high above the ground and can dive at a speed of 175 miles per hour. Do you know how fast that is? Do you remember getting on a plane last year and you came to visit Nanny and Grampy and all of us here in New Brunswick? Well, when you got in that plane and it started going, and when it took off, it started hitting right into the sky. That's how fast it was going, 170 miles per hour. That's how fast this bird can fly. So fast. The spine-tailed swift can go as fast as 100 miles an hour. So not as fast, but that's pretty fast. When you're driving to Moose Jaw, you're going like 60 miles an hour. This is 100 miles an hour. So fast. Their short legs are weak though, however. This is the spine-tailed swifts. Their short legs are weak, so they can hardly walk. What doesn't that sound like Nanny Suzanny? When she's been sitting down too long or lying down too long and she gets up, her short legs are weak. So it hurts to walk sometimes. Sometimes it takes a little while to get going. So the next animal we're going to talk about is the cheetah. Here's the cheetah with the headband. The cheetah is a kind of wild cat. It's the fastest land animal. It can sprint up to 70 miles an hour for short distances. Do you know what a sprint is? So if you're standing there and I say, ready, set, go, and you take off, start running, that's called a sprint. Well, they can sprint 70 miles an hour, and they can do it at full speed in 2 seconds. So like 1, 2 seconds, they're already going 70 miles an hour. That's phenomenal. Have you ever watched the Cars movie? You know, Lightning McQueen, how fast he would run around the track, drive around the track? Well, the cheetah goes faster, much faster than Lightning McQueen, because it's faster than a racing car. Wow. The next animal is the fastest fish, called the sailfish. The sailfish has been clocked at a speed of 68 miles an hour. That's still very fast. That's about as fast as when Mommy drives to Moose Jaw. The sailfish has a great fin on its back that it can raise above the water to catch the wind like a sail, just like a sailboat. Remember, we were here in Moncton last year and we went to the pier, to the wharf, and you were watching the sailboats? Wow, it can go fast like a sailboat. Oh, here comes Nikki again. Excuse us. And when not in use, the fin folds back into a groove in the upper part of its body, and the sailfish can grow about 20 feet long and 1,000 pounds. Do you know how long 20 feet is? Remember last night we talked about laying Daddy on the ground, and he'd be still 6 inches longer than an elephant who's 6 feet? Well, this is 20 feet. Do you know how many daddies that would take? 3 daddies to be as tall as this fish. Wow. And 1,000 pounds. Well, we know how many nannies there are in 1,000 pounds. Remember the hammerhead shark and the elephant were 1,000 pounds? It took 7 nannies. That's how many nannies it would take to weigh the same as this swordfish, this sailfish. So the next one is the pronghorn antelope. So here he is. Doesn't he look funny? Okay, so he can run at speeds of 50 miles an hour. It can go for long distances because it has developed well-developed lungs. And its heart is about twice as big as any other animal its size. Do you know what kind of animal that would be? That would be like a cattle or a goat or a sheep or a gazelle. That's how big this animal is. And its heart is twice as big, so it can run longer distances. That's amazing. And you know what? Okay, I've got pictures to show you. I want to show you how pretty these pronghorn antelopes are. Look at this. Look at how beautiful he is. And I've got a close-up one. Look at this. Look how beautiful the colors and the perky ears. Look at the eyes. It almost looks like a llama. And then the horns. And you know what their closest relative is? Guess. A giraffe is apparently the closest relative to the pronghorn antelope. And who do we know loves giraffes? Did you figure it out? It's Nanny Suzanny who loves giraffes. Do you think Nanny Suzanny has any giraffes in her house? Well, she has this one, cute little one. And then she has this one. Look how beautiful that one is. And then she has this one. She can't remember if she bought it in Honduras or Mummy bought it in Africa, in Uganda. Beautiful. And then she has one that Nana gave her at Christmas. Look, it's sparkly, goldy sparkly. And then she has another one that Nana gave her for Easter. You probably saw this one at Nana's house. Well, now it's at Nanny's house, and I'm so excited about that. And then, of course, does Nanny have a bigger one? You bet. Look how big that one is. Isn't that nice? Now, the last giraffe I want to show you, you're going to love this one, Winry. This is a picture of you. Look at this cute giraffe. This is you, Winry. When you came to visit us, you were 2 months old and you came at Christmas. And this is when we went to the airport and Uncle Michael was holding you. And Nanny took Uncle Michael's glasses off and put them on you and you were sleeping. Look how pretty you are. Isn't that a funny picture? But there you are with a giraffe. So, let's keep going. We have the three-toed sloth. Do you know that there's two-toed sloths? But this one's a three-toed sloth. See, it's got 3 toes on its paws. So, it hangs upside down in trees most of the time and sleeps about 18 hours a day. Almost sounds like Monty, except he doesn't hang upside down in trees, but he sleeps a lot right now. And the rest of the time, it spends eating. Well, that sounds like Alphaeus, who's always eating and munching and snacking and loves to eat. On the ground, the sloth can go about 8 feet a minute, but it usually prefers not to move at all. Who does that sound like that walks that slow? He's not here, so I'm going to say his name. I'd say that's Grampy. He walks slow and he sometimes doesn't want to move at all. Isn't that funny? So the last one is a snail. Oh, let me see the three-toed sloth. Can live 10 to 15 years in the wild, like in the jungle. But if it gets captured, it goes to a zoo. It can live as long as like 31 years, which is like just younger than Mom, and I think about just a little bit older than Daddy. Isn't that something? But you know one thing that the sloth can do? It's a great swimmer. And you know who else I know is a great swimmer? Let me show you. Oh, you're going to love this. Look at this. There's our great swimmer. Remember last summer when we went to the ocean? You love to swim. And Alphaeus prefers to sit on the beach and watch you swim. But he's going to be a super duper great swimmer too sometime. So the last one is a snail. The snail, which is right here, is the slowest animal of all. It would take a wood snail half a day to travel the length of a football field. It has only 1 foot and it carries its shell on its back. So you probably wouldn't move very fast either if you had 1 foot. and you carried your house on your back. So that's like Winry, you putting Nanny on your back and walking on one foot from the living room to the kitchen. That would be crazy. Now I want to show you one last picture. So we're talking about the snail. And look at this, Winry. Remember, Alphaeus talked about snails all the time last summer. This is you at the beach. And if I zoom in, let me see. Can you see the snail in your hand? It's a small one, but it's a snail. It's not as big as the one in the book, but it's still a snail. So, that's our story tonight. Wasn't that exciting? So, tomorrow night, oh my gosh, I have to work tomorrow night. What is it about? Oh, some of these you're going to love, Winry and Alphaeus. So, now it's bedtime, and Nanny wants to pray over you, and she wants to pray over Monty because Mommy said that Monty hasn't been sleeping very well in the last couple of nights. Mommy and Daddy have been up a lot with Monty because if Monty's not sleeping, well, Monty's not going to go sit upstairs and read a book or watch TV or take a bath. He wants somebody to pay attention to him. So if he's awake, then so is Mommy and Daddy. So we want Monty to have a really good night's sleep tonight. Lord Jesus, we ask you to watch over him, put him in a good slumber, wake him up when it's time to eat and change his diaper, but afterwards let him go fast to sleep so that Mommy and Daddy can get a great night's sleep tonight. And watch over Alphaeus in the bottom bunk and Winry in the top bunk, and place your angels round about them and watch over them and keep them safe and let them have sweet dreams. And tomorrow's a new day and new adventures, and it's Friday, the end of the week for Nanny. Woohoo! And perhaps we'll FaceTime tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I love you. So many Nanny kisses for Alphaeus and Winry and Monty, and I love you very much, and we all love you very much. We look forward to seeing you again someday soon.